Well, as we've mentioned, Mid-Ohio Food Bank has a huge network of pantries across Central Ohio, all with the same goal of helping feed the hungry. One such partner is the Lutheran Social Services, which operates 4 pantries as well as a mobile food pantry. Brad Draper is the corporate director of Food Pantry Services. So welcome back to the show, Brad.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So I know Lutheran Social Services really could not operate the pantries without the support of Mid-Ohio Food Bank. So can you explain kind of how that partnership works?
It's a beautiful partnership. Really, both of our agencies need each other in order to operate effectively. So we would not be able to help nearly the number of families that we help without the availability of food through the Mid-Ohio Food Bank. Probably 80 to 85% of our food in any given month comes through the food bank, and in turn we offer the point of distribution. So we're the point within our communities where the neighbors can come in and shop for the food that they need, because they would not necessarily be able to make it to a warehouse that is centrally located here in Central Ohio.
Okay, so we talked a little too about the stereotypes of people that typically you would think rely on a food bank or a pantry such as yours. What is the reality of the people in your community that are coming in?
The reality is that it could be anybody. Anybody could be hungry. Hunger exists in every community here in Central Ohio. We operate 2 food pantries in urban communities here in Columbus that operate at capacity and are very busy. But they've served people from every single zip code in Franklin County. Folks from Upper Arlington, from Bexley, from Dublin. Hunger is everywhere. We operate a food pantry in Lancaster and in Delaware, in suburban communities. Delaware considered to be the wealthiest community in the state.
Yeah.
We see between 1,200 and 1,300 times a month a family walks through our door and needs help in the city of Delaware. We also operate in rural communities, and clearly poverty and hunger is an issue there too.
Right, and how is it that, that impact of seeing a family walk through those doors? Because I imagine that is tough.
It is. It is. It's often tough, especially when they first walk through the door, and the key for our team, our volunteers, and for our staff is to make sure that that family is treated with the utmost dignity and respect. And oftentimes when people walk through the door, they may be looking down at the floor, but as they walk out the door with a cart full of food, you get a hug and a God bless you and thanks for being here. And that dignity and respect, and knowing that on that day my family was struggling, but somebody cared, somebody loved me, that's what makes the difference. And that's why I'm so grateful to be sitting here, because we can hear the phones ringing.
Yeah, and isn't that a good sound, right?
It's amazing. And every time that phone rings, I know we're going to be able to feed another family, and that's what it's all about.
That is what it's all about. Any success stories, Brad, that you recently can share with us, or anything that stands out in your mind about when a family is able to come in and get food and they're not worried for that day, that week?
Well, we see those every single day. In the last year, 25,000 unique families relied on our food pantries for assistance. And Dr. Roberts was talking about the healthy food and the nutrition and the recipes. And I can think of an example in our Delaware food pantry where a client came in and saw some unusual vegetables that we had, eggplant and squash and all those good things. She went home and wrote recipes on card that she brought back to the pantry for us to make copies to give to other families.
Oh, how incredible is that?
Show them how to use the produce like she already knew how to use.
That's amazing. And you reach even more people. I mentioned in the introduction that you guys have a mobile food pantry.
We do.
So how does that work?
Basically, we take everything that's in our storefront food pantry and put it in the back of a truck. And we set up in church parking lots, we set up in a former car dealership, we set up in community halls, and people are able to shop for their food from tables by food group. We take shopping carts, we take laptops for registration, and it's basically taking that food into communities where maybe that community isn't large enough to sustain a storefront food pantry, but people have the ability to get food locally instead of having to take a long trip. If you're making a choice between putting gas in the car and getting food,
sure,
it's important not to have to put gas in the car to get emergency food.
Right, the need is there. Anything you would say, Brad, to somebody out there contemplating donating today, and what a difference their call will make?
It's when you can't put food on the table for your family, it's disheartening. It takes away dignity. And when you have that ability to put food on the table, to provide for your family, that's what family is all about. And especially this time of year when it's cold and there's snow on the ground, our kids may have school days. And if your child receives a free and reduced lunch when they go to school, what are they going to eat when they're at home for a snow day? it's the difference between being a family, sitting down for a meal together, versus the stress, that chronic stress that comes without knowing where that next meal is going to come from.
All right, all important to know.
Yeah.
Brad, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, up next, see how much of a difference that your spare change even can make in this fight against hunger. By adding a few cents to your grocery bill, you can help deliver meals for families in need. Keep calling.